grid as they wait for the lights to go out. The revs are building. Let's go racing.
Everybody's doing a brand new dance now.
For race 3, going for a 37 lap race around here. So, going off my maths, what I just said, what's that, about 75 kilometres? All tyres are available, no mandatory tyre at all. And we'll have a 5-minute qualifying session as well, so multiple laps, no hot lap here. But the chance of quite a lot of rain coming through the mid and late stages of the races as well. So it will be very interesting to see how these drivers space themselves out throughout qualifying. There's not a whole lot of dirty air for these cars, but if the car ahead of you makes a mistake, you still don't want to be held up by them, so...
We'll definitely want some clean track for quali runs, that's for sure, around here. You're right, Dragon, not a lot of dirty air produced from these cars, but driver error can distract quite one or two of these guys, impeding their optimal lap time. Riding on board with Tombo, already trying to burn as much fuel as he can. Little does he know that these cars do not burn fuel.
Yeah, he's just hitting the limiter and activating the hybrid system. Must be, but Seckers looks to be leading the field around, using that little bit of host advantage to get out of the pits first, which we did see last week. The first cars out of the pits did get that extra lap in, so I'm not sure if Seckers is hoping for that or not, but we'll see how he goes now. Rolling into turn 1, all the way down to first gear, patient on the throttle. Nicely exited there as well.
Top 3 or so finding a bit of space for each other in the first of the banker laps.
Yeah, Seckers has been looking really smooth this lap as well, but I am seeing very early tyre wear already. Not even 2 laps in, I'm seeing probably 5% gone out of his front left already, so that's an indication of what's to come for the actual race. Tyre strategy is going to be very, very interesting. Very wide line through the last corner, looking to get on the throttle nice and early, use all of the runoff there, and a 57.0 is our first lap time.
Tombo 2/10 purple into the final corner. Sorry to cut you off there, Dragon, but I think Tombo's about to pinch the purple time, but no, misses out.
Not even close. There's ever reliable Flossie up towards the top there. Zoo showing that he's enjoying the 86s in this track, as he's back up into second after taking pole in race 1. Tombo has settled in third after that first lap, and Apex in fourth. Just about 1.5 tenths off, but he has gone purple this time around. I hear Dodgy grumbling, so we'll move back through the field a bit further. Oily currently fifth. Scooter's currently sixth, 2 thousandths of a second behind Oily, and Seckers 11 thousandths behind Scooter, but goes top with his second lap with a 56.4. That is well clear of anything else that we've seen tonight. Oh, yes. Flossie's off. Oh. Flossie went way wide in that last corner and made contact with the wall. He's going to have dirty tyres. That's this lap gone.
He'll be able to set himself up for the for a final lap run, I think.
Yep,
He'll be able to
Apex and Nux improving that time around as well with a 56.778 and a 56.789. So,
and Seckers as well, leading the field. He's just eased up on this lap, so setting himself up for one final flyer.
Might even just be calling it.
Really easing off the throttle here.
Yeah, letting everyone through. He's not pushing for his lap. Flossie's also trying to move aside. So both these guys, our top two at the moment. Pup improves to a 57.1. That's good enough to get him 9th place. Lucky improves to a 57.2. That's good enough to put him right behind Pup. Wrestler with a 57.2, 14 thousandths of a second behind Lucky, and is in the fence at turn 1. So that is probably Wrestler's qualifying done and dusted, as he looks to rejoin the track.
Apex was really pushing on his final lap. He ran right out to the edge of the track,
Yeah,
skimmed the wall just as he crossed the line.
He could probably... no, he's not going to have the time. Whoever just crossed the line there is going to be our last person to finish, which is Wrestler, but he did have that big moment, so everyone on their final laps. Who have we got coming around the last corner? Pup is coming towards the line, no improvement out of Pup. Scooter and Zoo with no improvement there. Tombo coming to the line, still nothing. We got 2 more drivers. Final driver coming to the line now.
No improvement across the board. I think the tyre wear
Seconds has absolutely smashed that. 0.3 of a second ahead of Flossie for 2nd place. Zoo in 3rd, Tombo 4th, Apex 5th, Nux 6th, Oily into 7th, Scooter into 8th, Pup into 9th, Lucky 10th, Wrestler 11th, and MCDC will be coming home in 12th there. So there is your qualifying grid, and if I was anyone else in the field, I would be very concerned about Seckers setting that lap time. That is miles quicker than everyone else. Got a bit of fuel burning going on there from Flossie too, which is
I am honestly thinking we stick it on board with Seckers after that lap he's run in qualifying.
Interesting. So 5 red lights and long hold, but we're away as all the cars bog down and slowly roll towards turn 1. Seckers covers off Flossie, not letting him get up the inside there. Flossie moves out a little to cover off Zoo as well. Tombo up the inside of Zoo early into turn 1.
Well, got a bit of a touch up.
Tombo's going to get hung out to dry here.
Turn 1.
Tombo's going to get hung around the outside of Apex. Contact has been made there back with Nux and Scooter. But Apex doesn't manage to get by Tombo as we roll through the middle part of the track. So everyone's settling in. Oily's had I believe he's had a collision with Lucky because he has front damage while Lucky has rear damage. Pup goes on through up the inside of Oily there.
I think that tells the story, and strategy-wise, all but Wrestler and MCDC running the soft tyres. The 2 damn Hexagons at the back looking to run a longer first stint on the medium tyres and gambling that the weather does not appear mid-race.
Yeah, I'm just having a little bit of a look at the radar, and I don't see anything on it currently. So a little bit of time. It is going 10 times multiplier on the time, so weather can change quite quickly, as we saw in the previous race. But nothing on the radar as of yet, and Seckers leading. Apex
that was Zoo. Zoo was out in the weeds.
He's still way out there and drops all the way back to 12th, unfortunately. Not sure what happened there, if there was a driver error or an incident, but Apex is usually pretty good for redressing, so...
No, that was Zoo doing his own thing. He just took a right angle on that corner. So one of those little things that GT7 does, unfortunately.
There you go. Very unfortunate there, and Tombo sees his team driver go from 4th to 12th. I'm sure he's driving with a bit of anger as he slides it out of turn 1 there as well.
I think Zoo just giving everyone a chance by taking a slight extension of the circuit.
Yeah, and one thing I did want to point out on the starting grid, but the lights caught me out, was that Flossie and Oil were the only drivers at the beginning that were burning fuel while the car was sitting still, bouncing off the limiter, waiting for the lights to go out. Which could mean, it's not going to mean a whole lot of difference, but that 1 to 2% could mean, a 0.01 of a second throughout a lap difference that could mean, he gets an overtake or something. So a little bit of team strategy there from Fangit.
Also means you're just carrying less weight throughout the end of the race.
That it does. It looks like everyone's quite settled in for the moment. Our top 4 have had a bit of a breakaway, so I don't know how aggressive these drivers will be. Oh, Seca's wide, Flossie looking up the inside. He's got his nose there, but he does the outside for the next corner, lets it go.
Got to be careful in the inside run out of that second hairpin. The slight bit of elevation change can cause a little bit of
contact there between Flossie and Seca's into that hairpin as well, has brought Tombo into it. He's gotten a bit loose on corner exit as well, but he's got a great run out regardless. And one to keep an eye on is Zoo at the moment. So he was 3.2 seconds behind MCDC, and he's now 1.7 in about 1.5 laps time. So 57.6 out of Zoo last time around. He's flying along compared to the 58.8 of MCDC. So it could be interesting to see how he can manage an overtake there. Bit of a battle for 5th and 6th as well. Sorry, Touchy.
No, Zoo looking to make up for some precious time that he lost a couple of laps ago. It is one thing though to catch up to some drivers here around on this track. It is another thing to overtake, and overtakes, as we've been watching throughout the evening, are very few and far between without some force majeure.
Yeah, I'm seeing that at the moment. Scooter, our race 2 winner, looking very fast behind Nux, but just can't find the space to get by him. He's just stuck, unfortunately. He looks like he's got that little bit more pace pretty much everywhere, but can't make a move happen at the moment.
And I'm seeing some windshield wipers going, Dragon, so I think there might be some rain in the air.
Starting quite early on as well. So we did, they said that it was either going to come towards lap 6 or towards about lap 20. So a couple of those guys who took a chance on mediums might not be paying off for them at the moment. But yeah, I did just see a nice spread of rain coming through there.
The top 4 still holding quite firm with each other. Seca's running that middle line to try and get out on the exit out of the final corner.
Yeah, doing well to hold off Flossie, and Flossie in turn doing well to stick with Seca's and not fall back to Tombo and Apex, who are quite racy at the moment. And they've got a 4-second gap back to Nux, who is essentially that cork in the bottle for Scooter. I don't know how much pace Lucky has in his pocket, but yeah, Scooter definitely looking like he's struggling behind Nux here. Since he caught him, he's dropped about 0.4 of a second each lap.
Do you think this is a bit of a comeback season for Flossie? Last year, he was by far and away leading the Division 1 championship, having to step back due to some outside factors. Do you think it's a bit of a comeback season for Flossie, Dragon?
I don't know about a comeback, but I definitely feel like he might feel like last season's one that got away, and that this is one where he could really take it back and take that Div 1 championship that he had in his hands.
We should be starting to see a bit of tyre wear, at least half on these guys up the pointy end now. How are they looking?
Yeah, top two, or I say top two, Flossie has probably about 35% gone, and everyone else is about 40 to 50% gone. Apex with the worst of the top four.
Yeah, Fossey, I would say, is the best on the tyres at the moment after his efforts in race 2 on the Inters. He is definitely looking...
Sorry, Touchy, we do have Zoo actually up behind the Damn Hexicans duo now as well, so we could see some overtaking done there. So we see them struggling to get around on those medium tyres, whereas Zoo's used a whole lot of his front left on the softs, but still just looks very quick. But he's been stuck behind him for a lap now. It's really got to pick his spot. The Damn Hexicans, boys, just in formation, really. You know, they're not really any threat from MCDC to Wrestler, and they're just driving quite comfortably on the medium tyres to try and make them last. And if the rain holds off for much longer, they could benefit from it quite strongly.
Well, it looks like the rain has held off for now. Not seeing too many wipers going off anymore. I think tyre wear starting to play a bit of a factor now. Apex up into third. Get past Tombo, but the breakaway 4 is...
Might have been a bit of a moment there for Tombo and Apex, or they've just lost a bunch of time with the overtake, that gap out at 1.4 seconds.
Yeah, the breakaway 4 is now coming to groups of 2. Nux really doing a solid job to lead the dodgy sandwich on Scooter.
He's well and truly holding Scooter up as well. Nux's tyres have 20% left and Scooter's have about 45, so he's got the better tyre, he's probably got a bit more pace under his belt, he just can't get that pass done.
We'll give Scooter the ability to able to see if he can get the overcut ahead of Nux.
Oh, here he was having a look. Nux covers it off though at the midpoint of the corner. There's really no strong places to be able to try and move here, but Scooter's just trying to get his nose somewhere so that Nux's racing line gets compromised in some way, shape or form.
Yeah, really got to force down the inside of one of those guys if you really want to get the move done.
Or get Nux to bite on a fake. You know, go defensive into a corner when he might not have to, or brake a little later than he might have to. Just got to get him to do something outside of his routine around this track now as we move into a bit of nighttime racing as well. Flash of the headlights, maybe.
Yeah, I think Nux is a little bit to the wiser of Scooter being able to hold his line. As I say that, he is running the midline through that final corner, inviting Scooter to just send it up the inside.
Yeah, he goes for the very narrow entry, and Scooter had half a look there. He goes for the very narrow entry into turn 1, which allows Scooter a look on the exit. But he's really keeping lucky in the game as well. But Nux's front left tyre is just about completely gone. Scooter's still got a decent chunk left on it, so I feel like it's only a matter of time here, but Nux is doing a great job putting on a defensive masterclass here. And
Apex has been able to find some time in his back pocket, and he's slowly catching up to the guys.
Oh, you say that, his front left is just gone. And Nux is in. Scooter finally released.
First the pit stoppers coming through now.
Giving him the Kiwi bird as he goes around the outside of him in the pit lane. Flossie really just staying with Seckers quite nicely. Bit more left on the front tyre as well. They're just biding his time. You know, in the end, Flossie doesn't have to get past here. He just has to stick with him and, You know, you
The
can go
pa-
for the overcut or the undercut further on in the race.
Yeah, the pass can be done in the pits here for Flossie with the bit of extra tyre he's got over Seckers.
Yeah, and I feel like quite a few of these drivers on the softs expected that rain to come through at that lap 6 or 7 mark, but we've seen it hold off. It has just missed the track, and we've got a little bit forecast later on, but...
I think Apex has made a bit of a mistake. He's continued on. He is out of tyre on the front left, or...
As is Tombo.
Front left tyre is screaming to be changed, but Apex...
Yeah.
Taking another lap. We'll see how that comes across in the pit stops.
Apex, Tombo, Lucky all have nothing on the front left. Zoo's almost with him. Seckers is going to have nothing after this lap as well. So Flossie and Scooter are going to be the only drivers I can see. Maybe Oil as well, that have got something on that front left. And then the two medium runners who are still holding off Zuzu. So Nuck's really the beneficiary here. He's taken that early stop, and he's running on plenty of rubber as well.
And for those who are wondering, Nux did change onto the medium compound.
Battle for the lead is on. They've both gone around again. Seckers has gone that midline. Flossie's just snuck it up the inside. Made that move happen.
Seckers is out of the tyres, and CJ's
a lap ago, yeah.
In the pits.
So Flossie and Scooter and Oil, the three Fangit drivers, are the only ones in our top 7 with tyre left. So just excluding the guys that have pit and the two medium runners.
Do you reckon there could be sacrifice?
Oh, Pup's got a 3-second penalty, but he's just come out on inters. That's, I mean, I don't see any rain about. That could be an interesting call there. Seckers in the pits. Apex going around again. Tombo in the pits. Scooter in the pits.
Nux with a half spin as well.
Lucky going around
again. Second hairpin.
Oily going around again. So, split strategies at the moment. So we have Flossie, Apex, Lucky and Oil, Fangit and TDR.
And the two... Out. And I am seeing some windshield wipers again.
I can actually see the rain in front of Seckers, who has unfortunately just come out behind the Hexagons duo, and he's given him a flash of the headlights as well. Teammates, get out of me bloody way. Oh no, he thought MCDC was going to leave him the room. He's tried up the inside. Wrestler also looking to just let Seckers by. Seckers is redressing to his teammate for some reason.
And MCDC doesn't want a bar of it.
And Flossie in the pits. That could be huge come the end of the race. Wrestler's just trundling around, looking to let Seckers through. Oh, they're on the dry tyres in the wet now, and the rain is coming fast. Yeah, very slippery out there. Wrestler's off the track. MCDC's almost there as well. Tombo sneaks on by. Scooter giving a flash of the headlights. MCDC lucky to keep it together on exit there as well.
And
someone else is sideways on the infield. Is that Pup?
Yeah, Pup's around on inters.
On inters? Wow. Zoo's gone on wets.
Yeah, Zuzu's on wets. That's a big call as well.
Alright, Lucky and Oil in off the soft tyre. Humper has got a 3-second penalty for pit lane. So a lot happening here. And I think the entry to the pit's catching quite a few drivers out, as you really have to time it properly and get in that checkered line.
Flossie's going to be the beneficiary here. He's on the inter tyres with Apex on a 3-second penalty. He's going to end up having like about a 7 or 8 second gap here once Apex serves, because Seckers...
Yeah, Seckers trying to redress to his teammate there. Cost him a good 6 seconds, I think. I'm assuming that those drivers were not in a party chat to be able to communicate that, so Seckers thought maybe the flash of the headlights was enough, but ended up not being the case. Apex, after serving that penalty, is
saves position, holds position, loses time on track though.
It's had a massive moment there as well, as Flossie's now 6 seconds clear at the front. Nux has gone around right in front of Flossie, and Nux getting blue flags. He's still on the mediums, is Nux, expecting that rain to dry up really quickly by the looks of it, but now he's just got to sit there and let the entire field go by before he can safely rejoin. Has to handle the brakes on again as Oily cruises through. So a bit of a nightmare one for Nux there. Looks like Oily onwards is pretty much the guys in the running, so we've got 7 cars that are still running decently.
And all the good fortunes of the TDR drivers from round 1 coming loose here in round 2.
That's right. They've got a nice little cushion to sit on there, so they could be alright. Nux just trying to stay out of the way of everyone. MCDC goes through, Pup goes through. Flossie's lost half a second to Apex on that lap. 1.4 seconds the gap from Apex to Seckers, and 1.6 from Seckers to Tombo, who was massively sideways with Scooter half a second back behind him.
There was about a half-second difference between Humper and Flossie last lap. 103.8 to 103.4, so there's a bit of time gain there.
Yeah, and 5th is the interesting place for me at the moment, because Tombo in race 2 looked very, very quick in the wet, and Scooter won that race in the wet, so we've got our 2 fastest wet drivers from the evidence we have earlier in 4th and 5th trying to chase down that gap of 2 seconds to Seckers to try and take a podium spot.
I was surprised to see the guys on soft tyres running a couple of extra laps with heavily worn tyres, wondering if they were sacrificing it some time for a bit of rain.
Well, we can see, at least for Flossie, it's paid off so far. Flossie, Humper, I believe, were the ones that ran the longest, whereas Seckers and Tombo pitted that lap earlier. So running less time on the dead tyres.
And with the lack of rain at the moment, it'll be very interesting to see if these inters run through towards the end of the race, or whether they
absolutely will not, unless we get a downpour soon. It's already there's a very strong dry line. Dry tyres would absolutely benefit from probably about now onwards. But unfortunately, the only person on the dry tyres is Nux, who's having a bit of a nightmare, but Apex has pitted to chuck him on.
Gone into the pits.
Medium or hard tyres coming out here, I can guarantee you that. Sorry, he'll go for the dry compound of tyres. I can't really see the weather radar at the moment, so I don't know what he sees, but enough of a gap to risk it. Which, again,
could be the catalyst to see if dry tyres... He's back on softs, and oh no, he's spun it on the wet.
The wet pit exit gets him every time. Yep, there's a dry line, I can drive on that, and then out you come, and away it goes, unfortunately. So I don't see any further rain on the radar either. We're clear for a little while. So, depending on how much time he's really lost to that early spin, he could still benefit from this, depending on if we see our leaders in. Flossie's gone around, Secker's gone around, everyone else is sticking to those intermediate tyres. So Apex really taking the chance and the risk of having to drive on that dry line, just straying a tiny bit off it and he'll be off into the dirt. But there he goes. Zoo in off of the wets as well. So unfortunate there for Apex. Timing not working too well. Oh, he's got a massive sideways moment on as he tries to get back up to pace as well.
It was definitely worth the gamble though for Apex with the dry line presenting itself.
It was definitely an all or nothing shout there from him. You know, if he could have kept that going for the next 2 or 3 laps in that dry line, he would have been the fastest guy on track by quite a long way. But that last corner just catching him off. Going for that mid-line as we've seen so many take, but that's not where the dry line is at the moment, so...
And Zoo was very, very ginger out of the pit exit onto the softest compound of tyres. So he'll be looking to climb back up the field.
Yeah, lucky for him, right back behind Wrestler. One of the Damn Hexicans duo that he's found himself with for quite a while now. And it looks like the other part of the duo has found a bit of form in the wet, climbed up to 7th, whereas Wrestler's still been struggling a little.
Field's really strung itself out from that
Apex
first.
is off there as well. Oh, Apex is around again. Right in front of Pup as well. Luckily, avoiding contact was Pup there. But Apex really struggling in this, trying to stay to that dry line on the exit of the last corner.
Zoo goes around as well on the start-finish straight. I think he exploring the track limits with the dry tyres.
Yeah, that last corner seems to be the undoing for these guys who are trying to run the dry tyres. They're just... It looks to be fine everywhere else, but trying to get into that last corner and out of it because you run so far out onto the curb, which is so slippery out there, the tyre just has nothing for you.
And how frustrating is this for Nux in 12th spot? He's right up behind Lucky, who I think is still on the medium tyres, and Nux has the pace, but
Lucky on the intermediates, yes.
But with the earlier spins and being caught out in the rain on the medium compound, unable to capitalise.
Yeah, I think we might see Nux try and bump Lucky along if he can get there, but yeah, being a lap down now, I think he's just trying to sit behind his teammate. Oh, Lucky was late into the pits there. It'll be interesting to see if he managed to avoid a penalty with that one.
Now, Scooter 82 in 4th spot, lap 25,
back.
his front left tyre is gone again.
Yep, Tombo's about to be with him, so those are the two that pitted, I believe it was a lap or two, I think 2 laps earlier than the lead duo of Flossie and Seckers. So
Once
I
again,
don't know how long they're going to run that for.
And once again, Flossie out the front, having the best tyres out of the top 4.
Yeah, Seckers chipping away at that gap though. It was about, was it 7.6 seconds, now down to 4.3. And as we mentioned earlier, we see Seckers using the wet patches on the track to keep those tyres alive. But
Flossie's in the pits and Seckers has continued
Tombo
on for
also
another lap.
Scooter's gone around again with Tombo pitting in as well. Oiley's tyres look fresh still, so we'll see him continue on. MCDC's quietly climbed his way up into 6th, and behind him, Lucky did pick up a 3-second penalty for that pit entry. So Lucky's done all the work to catch up and now has to burn that penalty off, and he's going to be joined by his old mate Nux. But at the front, so we've got Flossie out on the soft tyres, and Tombo out on the soft tyres as well. It's a dangerous game to be playing on that pit exit, and it's one that catches many people out. I'll give a shout out to Red Bull Ring a few seasons back. That was good fun watching everyone try and come out of the pits there. But Oily now holding up Flossie, but I think we might see Oil jump aside. Yeah, there we go. Good communication there from the teammates.
Seckers is in, Scooter is in. Keep an eye on Floss. I think Floss is going to get the easy pass here.
Oh, absolutely. He's in the last corner already, but just seeing the way they orchestrated that pass comparing to the Damn Hexicans earlier, who I believe aren't on comms. They're not talking to each other. Oily took the wide line, very clearly opened the door for Flossie to get by, and really we saw earlier that's the difference between Seckers and Flossie right now.
Tombo almost being advantage with Seckers coming out of the pits. He came out right next to Nux and had to deal with that wet entry or wet exit out of the pits.
Yeah, poor Nux probably just feels like a roadblock around at the moment. Apex and MCDC 6th and 7th here. So MCDC on some dead inters. Here comes Apex up the inside on some fresh soft tyres. Not much MCDC can do about that one. And we should see Luck get past Macca in a minute as well as we come into the hairpin. You can just see the difference in pace. MCDC's running all the way out, really slow under braking. He's got nothing for these right-handers. And there goes Lucky up the inside nicely.
Oh, Tombo was out wide into the onto the curb. He's managed to save it. Good
Saw
lord!
that podium flash before his eyes, and he's pulled quite a bit of time on Scooter during because of Scooter doing that extra lap. So Tombo got a 57.9 last lap, and Scooter had to suffer around. His last lap on Inters was an 11.4. Apex and Oily together on track now as well, both on soft tyres for that 5th place.
And it looks like Pup might finally be able to get past the damn Hexicans who were in the pits. He can get past one, but he's...
Oh, Apex is all over Oily right now. Looking for alternative lines, but every alternative line is wet. We go around the hairpin, he's focused on getting a strong exit.
And Lucky's right there as well. Apex might be able to help Lucky capitalise.
He has got a long side, he's got his bumper in there, and he keeps it nice and tight. Oily just tucks back in behind. Beautiful pass by Apex there.
Or Oily touching a bit of the
Lucky's
wet
got
line.
the run. We're seeing the TDR renaissance here. They're coming back.
And Dodgy's cheering.
He's probably still pouring himself a glass of something there after the early race shenanigans, and unfortunately Nux still sitting towards the back, but Sekka's having to go past Wrestler. So we're seeing Wrestler now get lapped by the leaders.
Oh, yellow flag.
That's for Pup, I believe. It is Pup.
Yeah.
Pup now getting the blue flags for Flossie. So he's just going to duck out of the way here. Nicely done. Flash of the headlights from Flossie as a thanks. And away he cruises.
And starting to see some wipers go back on again, so maybe a last little bit of rain to spice things up towards the end of the race.
One little spanner into the works as, I think that was Tombo getting sideways. It was. Tombo's really wringing the neck of this 86 as he's got one of the damn Hexicans cars in front of him. It's Wrestler, so he's got to lap him. Scooter has managed to reel in a bunch of time as well, doing his fastest lap of the race last time around with a 57.2.
Tombo really got to make hay while the sun doesn't shine.
Yeah, so that moment Tombo had that you called a few laps ago, he did a 59.1 because of that, whereas Scooter did a 57.8, which is where all that time's come down, and now he's done a 57.0, Tombo with a 57.7. He's really looking quick as Scooter, but that could all... big slide out of the corner as well. That could all come undone if it starts to rain again.
And in case you're wondering, Flossie with a 7.5 second lead over Sekka's. Flossie has not looked back since the start of this race.
Yeah, ever since that little mishap between Sekka's and the Hexicans duo that was on the mediums, Flossie's just taken that lead. He just patiently sat behind, and now he's using that gap that he's got, and he's doing some really nice consistent laps. Tombo, though, I just realised with a 56.7, that was quite a while ago, but really nice fastest lap there from him so far.
Yeah,
Scooter is right with him, though.
Almost quality-like time, and Scooter looking down the inside, really filling the mirrors up of Tombo out of that first turn.
Yeah, gap going from 0.5 to 0.25 now. So Scooter's just looking for his moment, and again, it's like we said earlier with Apex and Nux, it's getting someone to bite on a fake or taking advantage. And when you spend so many laps behind, like Scooter has, he can be like, okay, Tombo goes wide through that last corner, or he takes a late apex through the second hairpin, he can try and time where he wants it and take advantage.
And further to Scooter's cause, he did his best lap on lap 30 with a 57.0.
Yeah, Tombo's... Oh, he's wide. He's way out there on the wet stuff.
Tombo's not saving that. He's just going to have to give up the position, fight another day.
Yeah, keep it on track and, yeah, have another go at it later on. So, Scooter squeaking up into that podium, and it's a Fang at 1 and 3 so far, with Damn Hexagon sprinkling in second and Tombo hanging about in fourth, TDR coming through in fifth at the moment.
Yeah, Fangit needing a strong round this weekend after a few visits to the steward's room in round one.
Just a small 252 penalty points. Took them from second down to third last time around. So Fangit showing that they have a lot of potential to score throughout this season, but just got to make sure they upload their incidents. Looks like Oil's coming back at Lucky for 6th place here as well. Slowly just chipping away. Lucky slipped into the 58s last time around. Oily with a 57.7, so about half a second quicker than Lucky last time around.
Yeah, into the last knockings of the race now. I doubt we will see too much more rain come through.
Oily's just down right up underneath his rear wing is Oily here.
A race into the night here at Tsukuba.
Some alternate lines being taken there as well from Oily. He's watching where Lucky's going in narrow and going wide. So again, just sitting behind and watching, but that lap counter's going up pretty quickly. Tight through the hairpin here, closes up on the back of Lucky, but Lucky gets that better exit. Just ahead we've got Nux giving way to Apex. He's going to have to chuck on the anchors to be out of the way. Yeah, he's just come to a complete stop there, so nicely done.
Tight redress there through the final corner.
Not redress, but yes.
Tight. I'm losing my words here towards the end of the race.
It's late at night here, 35 laps in, but Oily's he's starting to look more and more aggressive on the back of Lucky here. And, you see having a look there, trying to go for the very inside line. He's looking for those alternate lines to just give him that advantage. Doesn't really have any type of car advantage due to the one make, so he's trying to make something happen.
Just trying to fill the mirrors up. I'd start flashing the headlights like crazy.
Oh, big moment there on the exit. And that's the one place where Lucky gets away from him, from what I can see here. That hairpin there that leads you onto the back straight. Lucky pulls about half a tenth every time. Here we go, onto lap 36 of 37. That gap down to 0.4, 0.3. So if Oily can nail the run onto the back straight, we could see him get it into turn one with his exit there. He's been doing really, really well out of that corner. Slamming it down through the gears as well. Plenty of limiter.
Getting all the use out of that gearbox.
Yeah, I don't think that'll be surviving through to round 4. I think we just park the car in the garage and dump the gearbox on the floor, really. But he's now fallen back a little bit after looking quite aggressively for that pass. We do have a little bit of a resurgence from Tombo to try and get back at Scooter on this final lap as well.
Yeah, Tombo with the slight tyre advantage, but I don't think he has it. I think there was a Drive 25 car up ahead of maybe CJ Pup or Zuzu. One of them might just be able to ease off a little bit and try and help Tombo out, but I think it's a little bit too little too late.
Yeah, and we're going to have to let this battle play out in the background as we jump up into first. Flossie rounding the final corner here, 4.8 seconds. the gap here, so he's using that cushion that he built throughout the whole race, and he's going to take the race win here. Flash of the headlights, well driven. Sekker's second place. What could have been?
Schooner's going to hold position. Sorry, Dragon from Tombo.
Yeah,
Close
Scooter
finish.
third, Tombo fourth. Apex has Lucky just behind him. That's not going to be too much of a battle due to being teammates, but Apex with a very rough front left tyre.
Or Apex wide.
He is going to claim 5th place here. Lucky's going to take 6th. Oily's going to take 7th. Zoo is still rolling down the back straight. We've had Pup come through to finish 10th. Wrestler 11th. Nux 12th. And Zoo finally coming through the last corner now as the rain starts up again. So Zoo is going to come home in 8th after quite a disastrous start. MCDC is going to bring it home in 9th. So your winner is Flossie, your podium is Seckers and Scooter, rounding that one out.
And a good drive from MCDC for that race, starting on the medium tyres and coming through to finish within the top 10.
Yeah, started dead last.
I think he'll be happy with that result.
Yes, absolutely. He's he had a rough qualifying, and I believe he qualified about a second off of 11th place, so showing that just picking your right strategy throughout the race has really paid off for him there. But we do have Flossie coming first, Seckers in second, Scooter in third, and Tombo sneaking out the fastest lap with a 56.7 for race 3.